Hello, I'm Andrew Dyer, and welcome to another edition of the Roundball Report, the only show in the area dedicated to highlighting the exploits of the high school, college, and professional basketball teams which play in the Washington metropolitan area. And as I promised you last week, here with me again is my co-host, recent University of Maryland grad and future superstar, Kelsey Nelson. Kelsey, welcome back.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back.
Kelsey, we're in the heart of basketball season, and you actually were able to get some guests that I've known. I've known Coach Reese for quite a while,
Right.
But they've got an outstanding event coming up, so why don't you tell the viewers who our first guests are?
Sure. So I'm really excited to introduce our next guest with Title IX coming up. So first we have Mr. Saladin Reese, who is the tournament director, and Mr. Lawrence Hamm, the sports development director of Destination DC. So thank you guys for coming.
Glad to be here.
Now, Coach Reese, this is the 7th annual Title IX tournament, and for those that don't know, let them know the impetus behind the Title IX tournament.
Well, originally it was done actually as a small venture with H.D. Wilson's parents 7 years ago, and of course the vision of Miss Janice Johnson, who's one of the greatest people on the planet. And what she wanted to do was just invite scouts to come here so the kids don't have to travel, to be able to get a chance to go to college. And so she introduced the Title IX. A lot of people always just thought it was a rule or law for girls. Mm-hmm. And she's trying to bring awareness that it is not really a law for just girls. Mm-hmm. It's equality.
Right.
And which there is none pretty much anywhere. Because, once you have football in high schools, it's kind of hard. So the schools will say, well, we got football, so that's more boys, so it's hard to catch up with sports with the girls. But she just wanted the awareness to be there, and she put me on to it because I participated in it when I was coaching at other schools, and I just was like, I just seen her like doing so much, and I was like, anyway, I can help. Mm-hmm. And like 4 years ago, she just said, if you want to. Mm-hmm. So I've been here 4 years now, helping her with it. I played in it every year it existed pretty much, except I think the first year. But I think the main thing what we're trying to do is a lot of, as you know, as a being around a while and everything, is that the problem in our area is a lot of times our coaches think they got to go other places to get the best. And my first words to her was, I can't help you out with this unless you're trying to be the best at this. Not that I'm great, but we together can make this a great event for our girls. And we're trying to make it the biggest event in the country. That's the only way people in our area are going to accept it. Because we do think we have to go other places to get viewed. And, you don't have to do that. And I tell people time and time again. So the only way to do it is just show them. Just keep building it, keep building it, keep building it. It went from, one gym to 4 games, I think, the first year. And when I got in, we kind of, added a few more teams, and now we up to 60. And this year we have 60 teams competing from the middle school age group all the way up to the varsity high school age.
And I had a chance to partner with you guys last year and do some workshops for you. And it was impressive because you did have all the Major 1 Division scouts from across the East Coast and around the country there, seeing all the bevy of talent that you were able to bring to the nation's capital. Yeah,
and the good part now, we added other teams from the West Coast. So now we're going to have a lot of West Coast college scouts there and a lot of Midwest as well. And, of course, South is coming up now. We got a lot of Southern teams. So it's just major exposure pretty much in your backyard. And we have, the schools that I care about the most, because I'm a community guy, I always will be. I like the Theodore Roosevelt's being in it. I like the Bells being in it. I like, those teams from D.C. who really don't really get a good chance to get seen by anybody because maybe the level of play or maybe the coaches, don't get them out because of the level of play or what have you. But you right there in the gym with the same person being recruited by Maryland and UConn, you're playing right next to them. So again, as we know, doing this, if I coach at a big time school, I can't use that kid, but I know somebody that can. So what happens in that aspect is you'll get a big time D1 coach to say, I like that kid. I can't use it, but my buddy at such and such university can. Let me make that call. And sometimes you get that, and they would never be in that situation if they weren't in that arena.
Right.
So, I do love the St. Mary's coming from, California. I love the Virgin Island teams. I love the Hawaii teams coming. But my heart is with those kids right there because those kids get, pushed to the back burner so much and everything. And they get a chance to be like, I was in the gym, I was right there, such and such watching me play.
Right.
And that's a feeling that they're going to carry them forever, even if they don't make it. And that's something that they can take to the next person and say, look, you need to get, well, you know, let's play this year. Play with me this year. Last year we had a chance, but this happened, that happened. And they can bring more kids to the table. And it's just a great thing for our community. And those are kids that I'm really pushing for.
Now, of course, it takes a village. You talked about Janice Johnson and Monique Smith, and now we've got Lawrence. Talk about the role that you play in the tournament.
So my role, again, I work for Destination DC. So my job is to bring sporting events to DC to create revenue for the city, but not just that, but also create the experiences that locals want to have. With this event, you know, it's personal to myself because I did play basketball and I understand how important sports are to become successful and to give you that push to focus on your education, and sometimes you may not have. But for me, I'm kind of looking at it from the city perspective and how can we make this something that DC owns, where all these great teams that are coming in from all throughout the country say, hey, you know what, I'm loving what DC is doing. I love DC as a sports destination. I think this fills one of those gaps. Again, we have great pro teams, we have great tournaments in a lot of different levels, but again, this is one that's at a great time of the year that allows people to travel to our city to feel the holiday of DC, which is really, really amazing. But again, also get that message on the court and off the court that they really, really need. So that's where I'm coming from.
And from a standpoint for fans, I mean, why should fans go to this? This is for both of you guys. I mean, what can they expect from this? And as you said, I mean, what can a little young girl, you know, see from this tournament, seeing other young girls play like her and maybe, you know, she can grow up to be like them? What do you want them to see and feel?
Well, I want them to see themselves doing what they see. They want to see them playing on that same floor, watching that same coach they see on television, sitting there writing notes when they watch these kids play, being there and just feel it. It's like it's about you right now. And you're not in a tournament where you play at 4 and then the boys come on next and then it's getting saturated by the boys. And I love boys basketball, men's basketball, of course, but this is their thing. And it's all their thing. And they don't have to worry about it being nothing but their thing. And a lot of times our kids in general don't have things that's just for them. So when a little girl walking there, they might never even had an aspiration of playing at the high level until they see it. They were like, okay, that's a girl?
Right.
You know, that they can play this level? Yes, they can play this level. You know, and all them coaches want them to come to their school. And you can see that we had last year, we had a bunch of 8, 9, 10-year-olds being the ball girls, and they just had a great time watching those big girls play. And I'm gonna try that move. I saw her do this, I'm gonna try that move. Those kind of things is what I want them to see. I want them to see themselves in those kids out there playing and say, I want to be doing that same thing.
And highlight some of the great teams you got coming on.
Oh, wow, yeah. That's, like I said, with 48 varsity teams, they come from all over. I mean, we were really excited about having St. Mary's from Stockton, California. Everybody projecting them to be the #1 team in the country. They have players that played on the USA team. They have players that's All-Americans. We have a team from Conowaga, Hawaii, a public school in Hawaii, who has a tremendous following and had a great run last year. They're going to be projected to be one of the top teams in the country. We're really excited about the Virgin Islands teams coming through. We got Tim Duncan has a program over there that, you know, he's from Virgin Islands and he brings kids over here to play, to visit DC. So we have 2 of those coming. It's just a great thing. And then locally, like I said, we have my school, National Christian, will be there. You know, trying to do what we have to do. We got about 6 New York teams from, you know, it's so many of them. I don't want to waste all your time by mentioning all of them. I just want to highlight some of the areas they're from. Like we have St. Francis from Georgia and Benjamin Mays from Georgia, 2 of the top teams in the country. We got Forest Trails from North Carolina, one of the top teams in the country. I mean, it's just a boatload of talent. I mean, some of the best players you're ever going to see is going to be all in that one place for those 3 days. So we need to really make sure that we promote the sport. I mean, the schools are great to promote, but I love to promote the sport and what it can bring to the city. Because Events DC has laid it out for us. They made sure we're able to do whatever we need to do along with Destination DC. And we want to show the city, I mean, the city that I live, that I'm from, that I'm in every single day, that we do a lot here. And we want to put it out to the whole entire world. We got a team from Canada coming. So we're no longer just local. We're no longer national. We're international. And next year we have even bigger plans to bring teams from Spain and other places that are already kind of on board to do this. And DC gonna be the place to be, like you said, because DC one of the best places to see during the holiday. You know,
and quickly talk about some of the
there.
things that beside the basketball they're going to get a chance to see.
I mean, obviously, you know, we have so many festivals and the monuments are beautiful at night. You know, just everything that DC offers, our tours, our restaurants, our hotels, that whole package is something that, you know, some youth don't get to see. So being that, usually they're sponsored by their team or, raise money and so on, they get the opportunity to get to the city. Again, some of these teams are from very, very far, and they may have never seen the things that DC can offer. So for us, is make sure it's highlighted. And then, if you look at these teams, you have the star players. They're going to travel, they're going to go from place to place, but you also have that player on the end of the bench, and that's going to get the opportunity to see great play and see a great city.
All right, guys, great job. That tournament again, we got a graphics page for the tournament. It is the 7th annual Title IX Holiday Invitational. It's going to be at the DC Armory. It's going to be December 27th through the 30th. Games start daily at 9 o'clock, and for more information, you can visit Title9Classic.com. Guys, great job. We're looking forward to being out there again to show some love to this tournament, and thanks for everything that you do for girls basketball in the DC area.
Thanks for having us.
Great